1,000 years ago, the Song Dynasty built a world that feels surprisingly modern. Imagine cities larger than London, Paris, and Cairo combined. Merchants were trading porcelain, silk, and tea across entire continents. They had paper money changing the way people bought and sold goods. Gunpowder was being used in rockets and bombs. Their iron production was massive. And movable type printing was spreading knowledge faster than ever before. While Europe crawled through famines and fragmented kingdoms, the Song thrived. Yet this brilliance hid a deep fragility. This is the story of the Song Dynasty, an empire ahead of its time, and how it fell to one of history's most unstoppable forces. After the fall of the Tang Dynasty, China fractured into chaos. Warlords carved out their own territories, and the country entered the turbulent period of the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms. Out of this turmoil emerged Zhao Guangdian, a respected and powerful general. In the year 960, he staged a mostly peaceful coup and became Emperor Taizu, founding the Song Dynasty. But unlike previous rulers, Taizu's vision wasn't about conquest. It was about stability, good governance, education, and economic growth. He famously persuaded his top generals to retire into a life of luxury, trading their military power for wealth and status. This single choice to prioritize civil authority over military might set the stage for one of history's most remarkable golden ages, but it also planted the seeds of the dynasty's eventual destruction. The Song completely transformed the economy. They were the first government in history to issue paper money, which lightened the burden of carrying heavy coins and sped up trade immensely. Vast canals and river networks connected the empire like veins of commerce, a logistical masterpiece. Merchants could move grain, silk, porcelain, and tea across thousands of kilometers with an efficiency that was simply unmatched anywhere else in the world. As a result, cities exploded in size. They were filled with bustling markets, massive warehouses, early forms of banks, tea houses, restaurants, and grand entertainment halls. Even Marco Polo, who visited centuries later, would marvel at their sophistication. Meanwhile, Europe remained mired in small towns, frequent famine, and very limited trade. One world was crawling, while the other sprinted into the future. Song iron production by itself outpaced all of Europe combined. They used standardized tools, water-powered machinery, and even early assembly line methods to create a proto-industrial economy. The goods they produced were in high demand across the globe. Their exquisite porcelain, fine silk, and copper coins reached Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and even Africa. Port cities like Xuanzhou and Guangzhou hosted thousands of foreign merchants, creating vibrant, multicultural hubs. This made the Song one of history's first truly globally connected economies. Trade wasn't just a necessity for them. It was a cultural phenomenon, shaping their art, their literature, and their entire social life. Innovation was simply everywhere. The magnetic compass revolutionized navigation, allowing ships to sail the open seas with confidence. Gunpowder, once used for fireworks, evolved into a serious military tool, used in bombs, rockets, and early flamethrowers. Movable type printing, invented by Bai Sheng, spread books rapidly, fueling a surge in literacy and scholarship. Astronomers built incredible observatories and highly accurate water-powered clocks. Engineers created advanced maps and sophisticated mills. Agricultural science improved crop yields, feeding a growing population. Medicine, mathematics, and engineering all advanced at the same time. This was a society driven by curiosity, experimentation, and pragmatism, a civilization that was truly centuries ahead of its time. Culturally, the Song thrived. Poets like Su Shi captured the beauty and emotion of everyday life in a way that still resonates today. Landscape painters such as Fan Quan and Guo Xi defined iconic visual styles that have influenced art for 1,000 years. A new school of thought, Neo-Confucianism, blended morality with philosophy. shaping the ethical framework of the entire society. Life in the cities was surprisingly modern. Hangzhou, the capital of the southern Song, had over 1 million inhabitants. Its night markets stayed open late, illuminated by lanterns. The canals bustled with boats carrying people and goods. Food stalls, tea houses, theaters, and shops created a vibrant urban experience that wouldn't be seen in Europe for hundreds of years. The civil service exam system allowed ordinary citizens, if they were smart enough, to rise to high positions of power based on merit, not birth. A growing middle class eagerly bought luxury goods, creating one of the world's first true consumer societies. Even women participated in trade and culture in unprecedented ways, running shops, writing poetry, and making their own contributions to this dynamic society. Yet all of this brilliance masked a fatal flaw. The Song consistently neglected their military. While they focused on culture and commerce, their northern neighbors, the Liao, the western Xia, and later the powerful Jurchen Jin dynasty, grew stronger and more aggressive. To maintain peace, the Song paid enormous annual tributes of silver, silk, and other resources. They bought peace instead of fighting for it. One critic later famously said, "The Song had scholars in every office, but no warriors on the frontier. They excelled at administration, science, and trade, but when it came to defense, they had a critical blind spot. Their wealth made them a target, and their military weakness made them vulnerable." Then came an enemy that no amount of tribute could stop: the Mongols. After conquering the Jin dynasty in the north, the Mongol hordes, led by the descendants of Genghis Khan, swept south. The war against the Song was not a quick conquest. It was a brutal, grinding conflict that lasted for over 40 years. The siege of Shenyang, one of the longest in world history, became the pivotal battle. It lasted for years, until the Mongols employed powerful counterweight trebuchets, massive siege engines designed by Persian engineers in their service. Once the fortress of Shenyang finally fell, the Song's defenses along the Yangtze River collapsed. The Mongol armies poured into the heart of the southern Song. Cities were burned. Millions of refugees fled south. Starvation and chaos spread. Song officials struggled to keep the government alive as the empire crumbled around them. The final stand came in 1279 at the massive naval battle of Yamen. Surrounded and with no hope of escape, loyal ministers chose death over surrender. A high-ranking official took the last Song child emperor in his arms and leaped into the sea. With that final act of defiance, the dynasty ended. On its ashes, Kublai Khan built the Yuan dynasty, and China was under Mongol rule. Yet the legacy of the Song dynasty survived its fall. Their innovations continued to shape the world. Paper money inspired global economies for centuries to come. Their system of a merit-based bureaucracy influenced civil service systems far beyond China. And their porcelain, art, literature, and philosophy spread across Asia and eventually the world. Many historians argue that the Song came closer than any pre-modern society to achieving a full-blown industrial revolution. The Song dynasty was brilliant, innovative, and prosperous an empire centuries ahead of its time, undone not only by a powerful external force, but by its own strategic weaknesses. It makes you wonder, what if the Song had survived the Mongols? What if the world had seen an industrial revolution centuries earlier? These questions remind us that history is incredibly fragile, shaped by choices, by luck, and by timing. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more deep dives from 6 Archives. Thanks for watching.